So meet me on the mat. We're going to lay down on our bellies in alligator pose. So bring yourself down to the ground, elbows out wide. Bring your hands to stack and let your forehead drop on top of the backs of your hands. So allow yourself to get settled into this pose. Maybe you do a little wiggle with each part of your body. Maybe you start with your toes wiggling down, let them root down into the ground, tops of feet to your legs. Let your hips shimmy gently in your belly. Bringing it up to your shoulders, letting your arms come as wide as it feels good. Imagine yourself kind of wiggling yourself into some nice, soft, warm sand. And maybe you end with rocking your forehead from side to side, easing out any tension that lies in your face. So we're going to start by holding space. Holding space for whatever thoughts are rerunning in your head, for whatever emotions that you can't let go, anything that's kind of making you feel uneasy, confused. Just allowing yourself to feel those feelings. Maybe when those feelings come up, when you give space for those feelings, you can greet those feelings with curiosity and wonder. Maybe it's something that happens that evokes an emotion for you. I'm going to start to take that feeling, that emotion, and look into our own bodies. Do you notice anything different? Is there any tension that comes up when these memories, these feelings come into your mind? Then we're going to start to allow our breath to travel to those places. Can you imagine that your breath is something that can heal, that can ease any tension in your body? So when you inhale, inhale, drawing that breath towards that space. And exhale, letting that tension go. Imagining your breath as a navigator and your body as a map. Find your way to the space that needs to be created by your breath. We'll stay here for about 6 more breaths. Imagining your breath, your inhale count, to be the same count as your exhale count. So maybe it's 1, 2, 3, inhale, and exhale for 3. Doesn't matter what count you make, just find what feels best for you. Breathing into the belly, getting as much air as you can, expanding into the back, into the sides, and letting go. On your next inhale, inhale as fully as you can. Into the sides, into the back, into the belly. Hold here. Sip a little bit more air in. Exhale, sigh it all out. 2 more like this. Inhale. Fill into the rib cage, sides, into the back, into the belly. Hold here. Sip more air in as you can. Hold. Sip a little bit more air in. And sigh it out. Start to rock your forehead from side to side on the tops of your hands. Ease out that tension once again. Press into the forearms. Draw yourself back towards the back of your mat. Tuck your toes and draw yourself up to a squatted dog, knees bent, spine long, crown of head reaching towards your hands. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bend deeply. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend deeply. Inhale, straighten, reach sit bones up, heels down. Exhale, walk your dog out. Bend into alternating legs. Maybe you shift from side to side. Find what feels good for you here. And hold here for 3 full breaths. Finding expansion into the back body. Engaging the front here. Shoulders should be engaged so you can find that length in the spine. Maybe knees are slightly still bent here. That's okay. And start to slowly walk yourself up towards the front of your mats. Leave your feet hips width distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. And slowly roll yourself up to stand leading with the lower back, mid back, and up through the neck. Shoulders reach up towards the ears. Roll them down and back, palms face forward. Allow your gaze to settle. Maybe you gaze at the top of your mat. Maybe your eyes are closed. And shift your weight front to back on your feet. Shift from side to side. Find little circles on your feet, all four corners of both feet here. Shift into the opposite direction. And bring yourself back to center. Hands to heart center. Rub your hands together. Create some heats. And start to bring your hands over your eyes. Allow your eyes to receive the warmth as you blink your eyes open gently. Bring your hands back to heart center. Inhale, draw your chest up to meet the hands. Exhale, down. Inhale, draw your chest. Maybe your sternum reaches up. Exhale, down. Inhale, chest reaches up. Exhale, down. Inhale, chest reaches up, arms reach up overhead. Find that big stretch in the front side of the body. Arms release, elbows out wide, cactus arms here. Bend deeply into your legs and find your forward fold, rounding down as slowly as you need to. Here we'll come into ragdoll pose. Grab opposite elbows here. Keep bending deeply into those knees first. Allow yourself to find the deepest round in your back as you need to. And when you inhale, imagine yourself inhaling space in between each vertebrae as if you're going to get longer, like a big piece of taffy. Two more breaths here. Start to root down into the feet and slowly draw the lower back up to stand, mid back up to stand, and bring your upper back up to stand, up to the neck, arms reach up high. Inhale, find length, imagining your sides growing longer here. Start to draw your elbows out to the right side, side bend. Maybe you bend a little bit into your knees, but you're going to keep bending over to the side, finding your forward fold. Slowly, slowly return back to center here. One full breath in. One full breath out. Start to lead with that lower back once again, drawing itself up to the ceiling, mid back up to the ceiling. Upper back up to the ceiling. Neck up to the ceiling, head, arms reach up high. And exhale, reach yourself, lean over to the left, and slowly find that forward fold as you reach that right elbow over the left side. Find yourself back to center. We'll do that one more time. Lower back leads up to the ceiling. Mid back leads up to the ceiling. Lower back, or just kidding, upper back, neck, head, and elbows reach up tall. Start to side bend over to the right, finding that slow forward fold. Over, back into center. One full breath in. One full breath out. Leading with that lower back, reach it up high. Mid back reaches up. Upper back, neck, head, elbows. And slowly reach over to the left. Find a forward fold as you reach over to the left side. Bringing yourself back to center here. Let your arms release down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Left arm reaches under your face here. Bend deeply into your left leg. Reach your right arm high. Find a twist. Slowly reach your right arm towards the front of the room, I guess, the front of the mat. As you reach it over to replace the left hand, switch legs, bend deeply into right leg, left. Reach that left hand over towards the front of the room to replace over the right hand. Bend deeply into left, right arm lifts. Start to reach that right arm towards the front. And switch hands, bend deeply into right leg, left arm lifts. Slowly reach that left hand forward. And when you're ready, find that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Plant hands, step back to plank. Knees down, lower down to the ground. Elbows out wide, stack your hands. Going for 3 breaths here, crocodile pose. Start to press into your forearms. Draw your chest up. Hands reach outside of the mat. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, left shoulder down. Inhale, up. Exhale, right shoulder. Inhale, up to center. Exhale, roll yourself down to the ground. Plant your hands outside of your chest. Tuck your toes. And we're going to do that same press of the spine. So press your lower spine up towards the ceiling, mid spine up towards the ceiling, upper spine up towards the ceiling, as if you're in a cat pose. And then find yourself into a cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Draw the chest forward through your arms. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Draw yourself back to child's pose. Toes are still tucked. Start to lift your hips up to that crouched downward dog. Listen carefully here. Left knee is going to stick to your belly as you round forward to a rounded plank. Step that left foot through, low lunge, back leg down, arms reach up high. Inhale, long as you can. Inhale. And do a short exhale here, drawing those hands forward, palms towards each other. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, that back leg up a little bit, root it down. Hands reach behind the hips. Draw your chest up. And exhale, find a humble warrior. Drawing your hands forward towards the front of the mat if you can. If this is too much for you, you can grab opposite elbows here or opposite wrists. The classic breathing. When we're stressed, when we're grieving, we tend to turn on our sympathetic nervous system, which keeps us from Being able to breathe into our belly. And when we breathe into our chest only, our chest gets tight. Our pectorals are overworked. One more breath here. Slowly start to lift yourself up. Arms reach up high. And draw your hands down to the ground. Step back to plank. Knees down. Lower down to the ground. Back into that alligator pose. Getting into our belly breath here. 3 breaths. Try to slow down your exhale. Turning on that sympathetic nervous system, slowing down our heart rate. Relax the shoulders. Press into your forearms. Hands reach outside the mat. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, right shoulder down. Inhale up. Exhale, left shoulder down. Inhale up to center. Exhale, roll yourself down to the ground. Tuck the toes, just like we did before. Hands outside chest. Start to lift the lower spine up towards the ceiling. Mid-spine up towards the ceiling. Upper spine. Find that deep round here. Gaze towards your navel. Inhale, cow pose. Draw your chest forward. Open up towards the front of the room. Exhale, find that cat. Imagine yourself like a boat. So you're gently rocking yourself forward, finding that cow pose. Chest draw forward. Find that stretch in that front body. Exhale, cat pose. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Draw yourself back to child's pose. Feel that length into your armpits, into your side body, into your spine. Toes are still tucked. Lift the sit bones up high. Keep that deep bend. And stick your right thigh towards your belly as you round forward to plank. Pressing that spine up, step through, low lunge. Long inhale, arms reach up high. Exhale, arms reach forward, palms together. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, exhale it out. Exhale it out. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms reach high. Tuck the back toes. Lift up, high lunge. Step forward slightly, root down that back leg. Arms reach behind the hips. Draw your hands down, open chest up, lift up. Exhale, find that forward fold. Again, if you need to, grab those opposite elbows. You might find that the different sides need different poses. That's okay. Starting to breathe into our bellies. Allowing yourself to start letting go, unwinding. And if you need those emotions to linger, that is okay. We need space for ourselves to feel deep things that are hard to fathom, things that are hard to digest. And it's easy because to push that away, because life does not take a pause for things that hurt. This is your space. You can take it as slow as you need to. Start to reach your hands towards your sacrum. Unwind. Arms reach up high. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Step back to plank. Knees down. Lower down to the ground. Find that alligator pose. Hands stacked. Forehead down. 3 deep, full breaths here. Draw out the exhale. Start to press up into the forearms. Lift the chest. Arms reach out. Side the mat. Inhale up. Exhale, right shoulder down. Inhale up to center. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, roll down to the ground. Hands outside the mat. Just kidding. Outside of your chest. Draw yourself up to that cat pose. Press that spine up towards the ceiling. And draw your chest through. Bring it towards the front of the room. Stretch into the belly. Find space. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Draw yourself back to child's pose. Find length into the spine. And start to lift yourself up to crouched warrior. Crouched downward dog. Slowly walk yourself forward to the front of your mat. Feet, hips width distance apart. Bend deeply into your legs. Grab opposite elbows, ragdoll pose. Start to draw your lower back up to the ceiling. Mid back up to the ceiling. Upper back up to the ceiling. Neck, head, arms. Draw yourself up long. Start to lean over to the right. And lean over to the right as you forward fold. Bringing yourself back to center. One deep inhale. And one exhale. Draw that lower back up to the ceiling. Mid back up to the ceiling. Upper back up to the ceiling. Neck, head, elbows. Be long here. Lean over to the left side. And slowly find your forward fold as you lean over to the left. Finding yourself back in center. Let your hands drop down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lifts. Right hand under your face. Left hand lifts, bend deeply into right knee. Slowly reach that left hand towards the front of the room as it reaches down for the right hand. Switch out hands, bend into left leg, straighten right. Right arm lifts, find that twist. Reach up tall. And start to reach that right hand towards the front of the room. As it brings itself down to where the left hand is, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly draw yourself up to stand mid back, upper back, neck, head, hands to heart center. Draw your chest up to meet the hands. Exhale, release. Inhale, chest reaches up to meet the hands. Exhale, release. Inhale, chest up to meet the hands. Arms reach up high. And draw your hands out to the side. Spine kind of like this. Round down just in the upper back. The neck, the chin tucks to the chest. You draw your mid-back up towards the ceiling. Let your arms hang heavy. Imagine your scapula or your shoulder blades drawing down the sides of your body towards the mat. Imagine the crown of your head just dangling down towards the mat. Slight bend in the knees here. Allow yourself to be heavy and know that your legs can hold you in this pose. We're opening up the backside of our heart right now so that we can receive help if we need to. Slowly draw yourself back up to stance. Shoulders reach up towards your ears. And exhale, draw them down, palms face forward. One full breath here. Slowly bend deeply into your legs. And just wiggle yourself down to seated, wherever, on the middle of your mat. We're going to start by having our legs crisscross applesauce. So it doesn't matter what leg is in front. We'll just find some comfort, a comfortable pose. If you need to put a pillow or something under your seat, please do. That can help the spine get a little longer, especially if you have long or short hamstrings. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of minute tension release. First, a little bit of face stuff. So, removing my glasses, I can't see any of you anyway. This is something that I do when I'm stressed. So, I take my hands and make a little hook with my forefinger and kind of bend my thumbs as if they can be hooks. I find the inside of my brow and I press the second segment of my finger onto that brow. And then I allow my thumb, the backside of my thumbnail, that portion, to be on my cheekbone. So what I do is I just press and kind of squeeze the tension out on the top brow and on my cheekbone, giving some release from the space around my eyes. We're just going to do this a few times, imagining that if there's any tension or stress being held here, you can just squeeze it out like a tube of toothpaste. Get a little bit of blood flow going here. One last time. I like to do this when I'm thinking a lot, or if I'm needing to sleep and I can tell that my brain's kind of monkey brain, so just thought I'd share that with you. Okay, so next we're gonna bring our palms in front of our knees. Tuck your chin to your chest. And maybe your upper back starts to rise towards the ceiling, just as we've been practicing today. So you might start to feel a stretch into the back of your neck here. We're gonna stay here for a few breaths. You might be able to notice as we do this, what's going on in your neck. There might be tension held on one side versus the other, on one area versus the other. We keep this pose. So
The shoulders, the upper back is still lifting towards the ceiling. Our chin is still tucked. And you should start to feel a stretch in the back of the neck through the top of your shoulders here. So one thing, as I've explained before, when we get into deep stress or grief, we tend to change our breath. And when we're breathing thoracically, only in the chest, when we feel like, we're having trouble breathing, it can just fire up all these muscles in our upper body that helps support our breath. And that's okay because we need to survive. But we can also learn some techniques to just stretch this out, give it some relief. And while you're here, maybe you give a gentle shoulder roll with your right shoulder. You can play around with rolling it towards the back, rolling it towards the front, and maybe there's a space when you're rolling it that you find, ooh, that's really nice. It's a little sticky, and maybe you just do a little wiki wiki wah wah, like I'm gonna stay in this space, ease it out a little bit more. Gonna slowly bring that crown of the head over to the right knee. Sending that breath to the space. Keeping that upper back lifted towards the ceiling, chin tucked. And if you need to, maybe you find those gentle shoulder rolls. Play around with the direction, play around with the space. Maybe you're noticing one side is tighter than the other. This could also have to do with how you live your life. How do you sit? How do you work? What is your dominant side? So just something to notice when you're stretching. What side could use a little bit more care, more strengthening versus stretch. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. It's amazing how something as simple as tucking our chin can stretch the back of our neck. And slowly draw your head back to center. And roll your head up to neutral. That was very nice. Okay, next we're gonna find our collarbones. I've done this with many of you before. I'm gonna just draw our fingers down from our jawline down to our collarbones. Okay, 2 more times. Find that length here. Find that gentle stretch. Okay, we'll stay on the collarbones. Fingers are lingering over. We're gonna just draw our chin up and over towards the left. So chin is trying to point towards the ceiling here. You should feel a stretch in the front of your neck. Maybe a little bit in the sides. If you need to, maybe you do shoulder rolls here, playing around with if you can open your chest up a little bit more. Maybe your breath allows your collarbones to feel long and wide. 2 more breaths. And slowly shift that head over to the right hand side. Tips are still on your collarbones. Drawing that chin up towards the ceiling. Breathing into the chest, into the belly. And still trying to find that longer exhale here. Turning on our rest and digest system, our parasympathetic system, as we change our breath. Our breath can help communicate with our body.
It's time to relax, body. I'm going to tell you by exhaling a little bit more than usual. Start to bring your head back to center. And just give yourself some gentle rock from side to side, gentle neck rolls, whatever feels intuitively good for you. If you don't know what to do, you can do gentle neck rolls from side to side. And bring your head back up to center. Last little gift of this area, we're gonna find our little our jaw muscle. So bring your hands to where you think your jaw muscle is. Open up your mouth, open and close, open and close. And you should be able to feel where that jaw muscle is. Just give yourself a little massage here, finding concentric circles. And you could press pretty deeply in here. Imagine yourself breaking your skin away from the muscle underneath it. And maybe reverse those circles. And you might start to drool a little bit. This is also our natural reaction. Bodies are pretty cool, guys. And start to release those hands. Okay, so hopefully you have your props. 2 blankets will be used today. So this is an option. So if you don't have props, that's okay. I'm gonna bring these beside me. I already rolled them up, so they've got a little bit more structure. And what I'm gonna do, if you have any neck problems or back problems, we'll roll onto one side, we'll come down on one arm, and bring ourselves down to the ground. Maybe bolstering your head, if that's a word, and bring yourself onto your back. Option 1 is to have your feet out a little past hips width distance and knock your knees in, especially if your lower back just needs some ease here. Arms are going to be out wide to a T, palms face up, or cactus arms. And all we're going to do is we're going to look over to the right. So if you would like to open the hips up, you can bring your feet together, knees out wide. And if you need to, you can bolster your legs up by shoving your blankets or blocks or pillows up near your hips and just giving a little support there. We'll stay here for about 6 more breaths. Doing the gentlest of stretches into our neck. Allow your shoulders to be heavy. Head is heavy. Hips root down into the ground. Imagine yourself being held here. You can let go. Now slowly start to shift our gaze over to the other side, gazing over to the left. Find that stretch into the right side of our neck now.
And slowly start to bring your gaze back to center. We're going to just bring our legs up into center, no matter how you like to do that. If you need to support your legs, closing your legs like a book, use your arms to do that. Draw your knees up so that they're stacked over your hips, arms out wide to a T or cactus. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, start to drop the legs over to the right hand side. Supine twist. If this feels good to you, maybe you look over your left shoulder. One more full breath here. Exhale it all out. Slowly draw your legs back to center. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop your legs over to the left-hand side. Allow your body to fall as naturally as it needs to. Nothing needs to be forced here. If you feel good to do it, maybe you gaze over your right shoulder. Slowly start to bring your legs back to center. And drop them down to the ground, soles of feet down. We're going to grab one of our blankies. And I'm gonna just gonna gently prop ourselves up with one arm. We're gonna slide this blankets, rolled up blanket, underneath where our mid back will be. So basically, you know where your heart is. We want our blanket to be under where our heart is. So instead of opening our arms up wide, you do have this option if it feels good to you. Knees are going to be wide. Feet are going to be wide. Knees are going to knock in towards each other. If you feel like you just need this chest opening, go for it. If you would like to dedicate this practice to someone, even if it's yourself, maybe you place both hands over your heart. So you can rest your arms on the blanket that's supporting you. And if this is too much, if you do not have space for this, you do not need to use the blanket. Even just laying down can be a stretch for the chest. It can be a heart opener for you. Start to let yourself have some space in between your back molars. Let your tongue be heavy. Let your head be weighed down. Shoulders are released. arms heavy. Your hips are rooted into the ground. Your knees are supported. Your feet are supported. And start to allow yourself to think of someone that you love. Maybe what comes up are complicated feelings. Maybe what comes up are feelings of hurt, of missing that person. So keep this simple. We're going to imagine our inhales, filling ourselves with love, with wishes of health, of wishes of happiness and safety. And our exhales are going to be our means of sending that love out. Even if this is for yourself, even if this is what you need for yourself now, imagine those long exhales still being a means of giving love towards yourself. And if that person you're thinking of is very far away, is not on this earth anymore, maybe you still use your power of your exhale to send that love to wherever is needed. Please allow yourself to be here however long you need to be. Sending these feelings of love, these well wishes. And as you do this, I bring my hands to heart center in gratitude for connecting with you all today. I miss you, and I send you wishes of love, of safety, of health, and of joy. Thank you. Namaste.